disrespect of these drummers. They did this to Bunny Carlos. At least Cheap Trick went out with him respectfully. But if they think he can't play Walk This Way, give me a break, all right? I'm a drummer, okay? So how hard is that? That's ridiculous, okay?
Why would you pin this on Joe Perry, though? I mean, Aerosmith is a equal opportunity thing. They're actually a band. Aerosmith's one of the few bands that's actually a band with all the guys.
Did you read Joey Kramer's book?
Yes.
When he says that,
I don't remember it, but
well, there's a part in the book where Joey says that he was like, "Oh, I'm so glad." He was looking out on something. I can't really remember it exactly, but he said something along the lines that he was looking out and seeing, "Oh, it's so great to," Joey was saying something along the lines of, "Oh, it's so great to be here with you, all my friends, close by and playing whatever," something like that, right? And then Joe Perry was like, "Oh, you're not my friend. I don't consider you my friend." And I was like, "What?" He's just the most.
Yeah, no, but look, I get it. I get it, Roz. But look, if
he still hates all of Aerosmith, and I'm just surprised that he's. I don't know. I just pinning all this on him, and maybe he just wants to.
No, I mean, look, the thing you have to realize is and I'm not pinning it or blaming it on anyone. And thank you, Roz, because I don't really know what's going on, and I don't know where Joey's playing ability is at. He did have problems. He did have some issues. He's saying he's well and can do it. The other guys obviously are disagreeing. But to pin it or try to blame it on one band member isn't fair because we don't know, and we're not on the inside. We haven't heard Joey now, and we don't know what's going on from their perspective. And if you talk about people who are hard on Joey, I mean, Steven Tyler, remember, is a drummer. So Steven has worked on Joey, if you read Steven's book and Joey's book, for years, pushing him to play and pushing him along a little bit. So we don't really know. It's not fair to blame one person. We just don't know. There's multiple sides to this, I'm sure, and we'll hear what we hear as we...
Over the place right now.
Hold on. I've got the statement from Joey a second ago.
Okay.
Which was literally just sent to me.
All right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read the statement. But you got to give the backstory first.
Okay, so the backstory is that Aerosmith are going to be honored at the Grammy Awards as the recipient of the 2020 Music Cares Person of the Year. It's a celebratory occasion that's happening on Friday, and that's kind of the backstory.
So, well, there's more to it than that. So, okay. So Aerosmith is being honored at Music Cares on Friday, which is a big charitable event, and they are being tributed and honored. They are performing at the Grammys on Sunday. They are all here in LA this week. I was having dialogue yesterday with Brad Whitford about potentially coming in tomorrow. I'd reached out to Joey a couple weeks ago to see how he was doing. I had not heard from him. And I know all these guys, and I'm an enormous fan, as everybody knows. What many may or may not know is that Joey Kramer has not been performing with Aerosmith for the last, I don't know how long, few months at least, for the most part, with their Vegas residency. We've had calls about that.
Dates back to the spring of last year.
Yeah, well, he was in and out at one point where when I went to that show, I saw him play 2 times. Both of the shows I went to, he played. I think I may have seen the last one he did, and then I think he was in and out a few times, and he's pretty much consistently not played with the band. His drum tech has been filling in. Now, we've been told that this has been because of illness or he hurt himself or whatever the case may be. Well, now we are in a week here that is going to end with major events for Aerosmith. I mentioned yesterday that Aerosmith was on the cover of People magazine with a commemorative issue, 50th anniversary, and these big events, both Friday and Sunday. The Friday one, which I am still here in LA to attend. It's a big dinner, fundraiser, celebratory night for Aerosmith, which I'm still very excited about attending. So I knew all the guys were here. I reached out to them, and I reached out through their camp, and then I texted with Brad yesterday. And Brad said he wasn't sure if he could come on or not. He'd let me know. So now, allegedly, well, not allegedly, what's happened here is the shit has hit the proverbial fan because Joey Kramer has filed a lawsuit against his bandmates in Aerosmith which was broken by TMZ just a little while ago, basically saying they are preventing him from being in the band and returning to the band requiring him to prove that he can play the material up to par. That, in a nutshell, is what's going on. This has all just come out literally minutes ago before coming on the air.
So according to TMZ, Eddie, Kramer was asked to perform to a series of click tracks in solo rehearsals, not even with the other four guys, in order to get his gig back. And then he claimed he had significant repercussions to his health and ended up in the hospital in November, which required him to cover a cost of the replacement drummer. So he said he had to pay the replacement drummer $20K a week for the performances and $10K a week for the rehearsals. And according to the suit, Kramer finally auditioned to the click track in early January, despite being in the band for 50 years. And they claimed that he did not have enough energy in the recordings and that he is now, quote, frozen out.
Right. So Joey has struggled and had some issues, health, physically. We all know drumming is very unforgiving on folks as they get older, for the most part. It's physical. There's no shame in it. It's very hard to, stamina-wise, I mean, it's a physical thing playing drums, especially in a high-energy rock band. And there's not a lot of room for error in terms of keeping time and what have you. And when you get older, and there's absolutely no shame in this, it happens to a lot of drummers, aches and pains and physical aspects, because it's such a physical thing. Your elbows, your wrists, your hands, your back. Gosh, I was talking to Chad Stewart, who plays in Faster Pussycat. He had to have hip replacement. I said, why? He goes, just sitting on a drum stool for 30 years playing the way I do. So there's a long history of drummers who are usually the first to have issues as they age because of the physicality of playing that instrument. And, that and whatever other issues Joey has had caused him to have to, take this back seat in Aerosmith and not play some shows. I guess he feels he's better and should be back, and the band is saying not so much, resulting in what looks like a pretty nasty spat here and lawsuit, like days away from a major Aerosmith celebratory thing, which is also part of why some are saying this is coming out now, because Joey is going to, I guess, not be included in these events, which I was wondering how this was going to be handled. I got to be honest with you, leading into this weekend, playing shows in and out every night in Vegas, we talk about this all the time. People go to shows, you get super casual fans. They don't even know who's in the bands to begin with. They're just going to hear the hits, and they have no idea who is and isn't even playing in 90% of the bands they go see. So there you can almost fly a little under the radar outside of the hardcore fans like me who are going to be like, hey, what the hell's going on? Where's Joey? And they've been doing that for a while. Now you've got marquee moments, 50th anniversary of Aerosmith, performance on the Grammys, a big Music Cares celebration on Friday. Well, needless to say, a founding member of the band would like to be included in that, and I know that would probably put some stress on the other four guys figuring out, hey, how do we handle this? Because obviously they would want he'd want to be included. He's part of the story. He should be included. But if they disagree with his ability to play, then it's also a big TV moment that you can't have it not be super tight and solid. So it's really, I see both sides of this as being a problem. I don't know what Joey's dealing with and how he is now, but he clearly feels that he's gotten back to the point where he should be back in the band. They say no, and that's resulting in a standoff, if you will, and Joey suing the band that he's a member of for basically freezing him out of his own band. Literally minutes ago, I have a statement here, an official statement from Joey Kramer regarding this whole situation. This is brand new news that I was contacted about a minute before I came on the air here, so 11 minutes ago, saying that this was going to be sent to me first and for me to read it. So here is the statement on all of this from Joey Kramer, and I'm reading it for the first time with you guys right now. And it says, this is all from Joey Kramer, quote, "Ever since I was 14 years old, I had a set of drumsticks in my hand and a passion to create music. being prohibited from playing with a band that I have given 50 years of my life to supporting is beyond devastating. This is not about money. I am being deprived of the opportunity to be recognized along with my peers for our collective lifetime contributions to the music industry. Neither the Music Cares Person of the Year Award nor the Grammy's Lifetime Achievement Honors can ever be repeated. The fact that I would be asked to audition for my own job demonstrate that I can play at a quote, appropriate level and play better than my temporary fill-in with a moving target of made-up standards is both insulting and upsetting. Other band members and their lawyers will likely attempt to disparage my playing and claim that I am unable to play the drums right now. Nothing could be further from the truth. I did everything they asked, jumped through hoops, and made both a recording of playing along solo to a recent live recording of the band, one I had never heard before, and that process was videotaped. But I did it, and I did it well. In Aerosmith's 50-year history, no other band member has ever been subjected to this scrutiny, let alone be asked to audition for his own job. I hope our fans can understand that all I'm trying to do is get back to playing with the band that they love, and that's Aerosmith with all 5 original members. The greatest magic and success of Aerosmith happens when all the band's founding members are together in the house. To be removed from my rightful place on stage to celebrate our success, a success that acknowledges my own life's work, is just plain wrong. Joey Kramer. So there you have it. I mean, in a nutshell, you see exactly what's happening here. The band doesn't feel he can cut it. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. The band doesn't feel he can cut it. They don't want to take a chance on huge, big platforms having him not be up to par in their view. And in Joey's view, here are these two, as he says, things that could never be repeated, historic moments, Music Cares and the Grammys, and he's been told, you got to sit these out. And you could understand how that would sting beyond belief. To miss some shows, okay. To miss major TV moments and historic things that honor the history of the band, which he's a founding member of, you could see how that is going to become a problem. I got to tell you, I felt that this was going to have to reach some sort of headway at some point, because for months now, this has been something that's flown somewhat under the radar, that he hasn't been playing the shows in Vegas. And I knew with a big event, big events like this coming up this week, you can understand how it would sting to be told your services aren't going to be needed for these. And you're like, whoa. The history of Aerosmith's being celebrated. How the hell am I not there? And then it becomes awkward because if you're there and you're not playing and you're just standing there, I see it being difficult on both sides. I really do.
Well, Eddie, not just that, and I wonder if this gives credence to Joey's claims. In promotional materials for the upcoming Grammy performance, he is there amongst his bandmates. Well, so as far as the advertising goes... Yeah,
but we've seen that a million times. Judas Priest is still putting Glenn Tipton in all their marketing for their tours, their live shows, everything. But Glenn hasn't played in the band in a while, and sadly, probably never will again. But he's in every poster for every concert. So we've seen that a lot, because the deal there is the spin would be the organization saying, well, legally he's still a member of the band and he will come back at some time.